So here's the start of chapter 5. It's all about the periodic table and about the trends that are embedded within the periodic table. So we're going to teach you how to extract more information from the periodic table than what you would at first expect to be there. You know about atomic mass, atomic number, or sorry, the average mass, atomic number, the symbols, all that good stuff. There's a lot more information embedded in the periodic table than just what's directly available to you. That's what you're going to learn. The first thing we're going to do, though, is we're going to color our periodic table. So you should get a bunch of colored pencils and your periodic table out. And this is all the information we're going to put onto our periodic tables. So to start with, we've got the groups. I'm actually going to start with, hold on, Command P, get my pen here. I'm going to start, the groups are actually already on there. We're going to put the periods on right away, the period numbers. Let's see here. And then we're going to start with valence electrons and oxidation numbers. So we've got our periodic table here. We've actually already got group numbers. So group number is right there. Sorry, it's hard to write small on this. So that says group number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all the way up to 18. It's already there. So like chromium is in group 6. Now above that, I'm going to put my valence electrons. Now it goes 1, 2. We actually skip all the way over to here. It goes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're not going to worry about how many valence electrons the transition metals have, which is this middle section, or the F block down here, which we'll learn about in a second. After valence electrons, we're going to put oxidation number. So oxidation number is next. Now you may want to put these in different colors. It's up to you. It doesn't really matter. This column forms a +1 charge. So all the elements in this column like to form a +1 charge. They also have one valence electron. This column likes to form a +2 charge. We go over here, +3. This column likes to form a plus or -4 charge. -3, -2, -1, and we'll put a 0 above this one. Now the reason for that, we'll get into it more in class, but like this column, they have 7 valence electrons. Everything likes to be like a noble gas. It likes to have 8 valence electrons. So fluorine has 7. It desperately wants to gain 1. So fluorine tends to gain 1 electron. That's why it becomes a -1 charge. Sodium over here has 1 valence electron. It's easier to lose an electron than it is to gain 7. So it'd actually rather lose one to be like neon, number 10. So sodium, when it loses, it has a +1 charge. That's how that works. Now the period numbers. I'll have you write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So those are your period numbers. Now the next thing, take a dark color. You can just take a pencil. You're going to start with the top corner of boron. We're going to put the stair step line. That's the next thing we're going to do. And you're going to draw a line that goes down, over, down, over, down, over. It doesn't matter if you do this in a color or not. Just make sure you have a darkened line here so that you can see this in the future. Okay, so that's our stair step line. So let's go back. So let's cross out. We got group numbers. We've got period numbers done. We've got the valence electrons oxidation number. I did the stair step line. Now let's go with the metals, nonmetals, and metalloids. We'll do this one now. Okay, so for the metals, nonmetals, and metalloids, I'm going to take out my highlighter. So you're going to want to shade these in lightly with a colored pencil. So pick a color. These are going to be the nonmetals. So I'm going to highlight all of these. Let's see here. We'll go carbon, nitrogen. So you're going to shade all of these in. And then go over here, don't forget about hydrogen. Hydrogen is a nonmetal. So somewhere what you want to do is like take this color now and label this non-metals. Whatever color you picked, you don't have to use yellow. Label these the non-metals. Now we're going to highlight the metalloids next. Metalloids. So I'll pick another color. I got to switch back to my highlighter. And I got to switch a color here. Let's pick this one. So my metalloids are going to be this color. Now boron is a metalloid. Now everything along the stair step line is metalloids except aluminum. Aluminum looks like it would be a metalloid based on its location, but it is actually a metal. So all the ones I'm highlighting, this bluish color here, cyan, I don't know how to pronounce that. These will be our metalloids. Everything along the stair step line. And then everything that's not colored, so everything over here is going to be a metal. So we've got our non-metals, metals, and metalloids. So let's highlight these. They're done, done, done. Let's go solids, liquids, and gases. So the following elements, let's pick a new color here. Let's go dark blue. Let's put dark blue as our liquids. So bromine, just put a little dot there. Bromine and mercury are two liquids. So label this liquids. Those are the two liquids at room temperature. That's why I had you highlight lightly. Those two are the liquids. Now let's change our color again. We'll just go back to red. Red, all of these are going to be gases at room temperature. All are noble gases. Let's see here. Chlorine, fluorine. That was terrible placement there. Oxygen. No, do not do sulfur. Let's erase. Do not do sulfur. Excuse me. Nitrogen would be one, and hydrogen. Let's make sure I did that correctly. Yep, so just don't do sulfur. Sulfur is not a gas. That's a solid. So these are gases. And everything that's not listed as a liquid or a gas, it is a solid. Let's see here if I can eraser. Oh, that did not work as planned. So we've got, you've already colored those, so I'm not going to go back. It's turning into a little bit of a disaster here. Highlighter, so we've got our solids, liquids, and gases done. Now let's do our man-made versus synthetic ones right now. Now the man-made versus synthetic elements, we got to pick a color we haven't used yet. We used yellow, gray. What's magenta look like? That's a good color. Perfect. Now the synthetic elements are the ones that are not found in nature. It's actually 43. You will not find that one in nature. And 61. So highlight those in. Just pick a nice light color. And then somewhere over here, I'm running out of room. You're going to want to label this the synthetic elements. We'll do that later. And then everything above 92 is also synthetic. So everything above 92. So 93 and up. So anything higher than 93 is synthetic. Let's see if I can highlight those in nicely, or at least decently. Oh my gosh, I would not call that nice. Okay, so those are your synthetic elements. Let's label that synthetic, and I'm running out of room. So those are synthetic elements. Again, they're not found in nature. They are created in lab. They're also all radioactive. We'll talk about them more later. Now, some other things. Let's see here. Man-made, we're done with that. Let's focus on these right here, the alkali metals. This group right here is called the alkali metals. Alkali metal. Apologize for the terrible writing there. That's alkali, A-L-K-A-L-I, metal. The second column is the alkaline earth metals. Alkaline earth metals. So that's the second group. Now the first one, I forgot to mention, the alkali metals. Hydrogen does not count. Hydrogen is not a metal. So the alkali metal is lithium and down. Everything lithium and down. Now this group, from here to here, this whole section, instead of highlighting it in, just put transition metals here. These are called the transition metals. Over here, this group, let's see here, the best place to put this. This group is called the halogens. And then the last group, you know this one probably as the noble gases. So some columns have their own specific name. So if you hear me say the halogens, you should know which ones I'm talking about. If I say, oh, the alkali metals, definitely should be like, oh yeah, the first column. Now, to save some time, instead of going back, the sublevels. This right here, these first two columns, are called the S sublevels, or the S block. Maybe you have more room down here, you can label them as the S block down here. The next group, or the next block, I'm going to do it down here. This chunk here, so this whole chunk right here, is called the P block. Down here, this whole section, the section that's on its own down here, is called the F block. The F block. And then the transition metals make up the D block. Now you might be like, wait, S, P, D, and F. I remember that from a previous time when we were talking about electrons and sublevels. Yeah, if you actually go back, remember the S sublevel holds 2 electrons. Notice the S block is 2 elements wide. The P sublevel holds 6, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 6 across. The D block, the D sublevel holds 10. If you count, there's 10 here, and there's 14 down here. So yeah, the periodic table is actually shaped exactly in line with the number of electrons that fit in each type of sublevel. That's not a coincidence. We're going to use that later. So let's double check, make sure we've got everything. So we've got our sublevels now, our S, P, D, and F. We talked about these. I think we are pretty much done. The only thing I'm going to have you write real quick is right in here, put like a 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then over here, I want you to write 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then down here, I want you to put a 4 and a 5. I will talk about that in class. I'm not going to spend time on this video. I just want you to write it down. The last thing I forgot to label, but it's actually already labeled, is the lanthanoids and actinoids. You'll also hear these named, or see these named lanthanides without the O in it, and actinides. It's the same thing. You'll see N-I-D-E-S at the end, lanthanides. Make sure you get all this down. And you'll get to use this on the test, so make sure you have all this information. It's very valuable, and we're going to use it a lot this chapter and into the next chapter. So take the time to make this neat and clean, get it down, and yeah, we'll be using it in class.